I do think that being typecast definitely has affected me from getting certain roles. However, going back to earlier, being typecast allowed me to, to be able to work for a long period of time, and I think that as an actor starting out, of course, we want to be able to be versatile, but, if you're typecast and people want that type and they're just casting you, I can't complain about that.
I know, Morris, for a lot of actors right now, you told me off air that you're in Atlanta right now, you're filming, that, COVID-19 has been a very challenging time for the business.
Right.
From a professional standpoint, what have you had to kind of adjust to doing that you obviously weren't doing before?
Right. Well, life on set right now with the protocols, it's much different. It's just much different now. I mean, we're rehearsing. Everyone has on masks. The only time we take off our mask is when they say action. As soon as they say cut, we put the mask right back on. And then even now, so a lot of the time, say for instance, like on The Best Man, right? On The Best Man, there were a few scenes where I needed some space alone, because I had to be emotional, and everybody else was just in the scene, doing what they wanted to do. But I had to get my headspace. So now on set, when we say cut, everyone goes to all the actors go to this one. We have to be kind of like in one room with this loud, kind of like disinfectant machine going on. It's just the protocols are just so much different, and I'm not complaining because it's a blessing to still be able to work during what's going on now in the world, and so many people are out of work right now. So it's a blessing to be able to work, but the challenges definitely makes it different.
Has it, because I know part of acting is creating a certain level of intimacy with your co-stars and with the characters in the movie. Is it harder to generate that now because you have these protocols in place?
1,000,000%, especially because sometimes you never know how someone's gonna approach a scene until you rehearse it, and so what happens is we'll come to set, get there at 5 a.m, 6 a.m, and we'll go rehearse the scene, and then we'll go and they'll light the scene. So sometimes you never really know how someone's going to approach the scene until you get there for the rehearsal. Now everyone has the mask on. Is there so much extra stuff on set, so you don't really get the personal intimacy that we normally would do. And even still, everyone gets tested. We get tested 3 times a week. Coming off of Christmas vacation, I was tested like 4 days straight. And so it's we've still had incidents on set to where people had it, and so you still don't feel as comfortable, because when I'm not at work, I'm by myself, staying in the house, and I don't really have any type of communications with people. Going to a set now, even talking to someone that close without a mask on, it feels a little odd.
Mm-hmm. So how is this impacted, or how do you think it will impact the love scenes? Because I
right.
One of my guilty pleasures is watching Young and the Restless. I DVR it, man, like every day, and I watch it. But they have cut out like love scenes completely. Like the characters are 6 feet apart. There's no hugging.
Right.
There's the only people who kissed on the show are 2 people who are together in real life. Other than that, no. So yeah. Right. So what? I don't know. Have you seen or do you feel like the love scene will be impacted permanently by this?
I think definitely until maybe people start getting the vaccine, then we'll see how that affects people. But yeah, for the most part, right now, because you never know. I mean, you could be with someone on set who a lot of people on our set have kids. People have nannies. People are into their personal space, so you really never know. People on set have husbands or wives that work in other places. So even though we get tested, 3 times a week, you just still never know who could have it or not. So the love scenes will definitely be affected for a minute.
We talked in the first half of this podcast about, how sometimes you were typecast with roles that you really wanted to play and maybe didn't get. Did you feel being typecast as that kind of romantic guy worked against you?
Yes, yes. See, when I first started out, I would never get. So when I first started out, it was all about gang roles, right? It was gangster number one, gangster number two, and it was oddly enough, I got the role of Ricky in Boys in the Hood, which is somewhat a gang movie, but I'm playing the high school athlete, you know. So and again, I do think that being typecast definitely has affected me from getting certain roles. However, going back to earlier, being typecast allowed me to be able to work for a long period of time, and I think that as an actor starting out, of course, we want to be able to be versatile, but if you're typecast and people want that type and they're just casting you, I can't complain about that.
Was there a role that you went out for, or you knew you were being considered for, didn't get, and then when you saw it, you said, maybe I wasn't the right choice for that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because every time, so when I read a script and I'm rehearsing for the or prepping for the audition, and you think, oh man, okay, I got this. You're making certain choices, and that role, yeah, the role that Cuba Gooding Jr. played in Jerry Maguire. At that time, we had come in Boys in the Hood, and so obviously, they auditioned Cuba, they auditioned me, and I thought that I did a pretty good job, prepping for that role, prepping for that audition. And I said, man, okay. And, I played a football player, so I thought that might be my edge because the character was a football player. So I said, I already played a football player, so I'm convincing as that. And then when I saw the movie, I'm like, wow, Junior, I call him Junior. Junior, he put his foot into that role. He made choices that I was like, man, I got to get my weight up, because those choices, he had subtle nuances and the things that he did. It was just, I just, at that time, I said, man, there was not even close. I thought that I prepped. I said, I wasn't prepping. I got to go back into the lab and really prep, because he really put his foot in it.
Is there a role that you didn't get that still bothers you that you didn't get it even now?
So of course, so there are roles that I didn't get, but does it still bother me? No, because the one thing that I've learned throughout my time in this industry is that, and what I feel and what I believe is that what's for you is for you. Now, you still go prepare, you still prepare as if that's going to be your part. I'm not going to sit at home and when my audition is next week, well, I'll wait and practice, I'll prep an hour before my audition because what's for me is for me. No, I don't go about it like that. I still prep, I need as much prep time as I can. But I feel as long as I go in there and I do the best job that I can do, then that's all I can do. But if I'm watching the Laker game or watching the Eagles, and online, or looking at just whatever, knowing I should be prepping for my part, then then I don't deserve it. But there was a role, because there was a role at the time. There was a role. So Cuba and I, we did Boys in the Hood. At that time, it was Columbia, Sony Columbia, and the movie was a hit and everything. And so then there was this huge movie that was coming out, had all the big stars in it, and of course, Boys in the Hood was hot. It was the same studio, and I mean, the movie was huge. Probably couldn't be a bigger movie at the time. And obviously Cuba and I were in a hot movie, so they auditioned both of us for the movie, and they ended up giving the role to another Black actor who was like a PA, who never even acted before. Yeah, that's what they did. He never even acted before. He was a cool dude, he was a really cool dude, but he never even acted before. And it was when I say it was a huge movie, this was a huge movie. And we didn't get it. I was like, man, and at that time I remember, like, man, that role could have been life-changing. It could have been this, it could have been that. But it just wasn't for us. But I really wish I could have been in that movie. You
gotta tell me what movie it was. Like I wasn't gonna ask. I'm like, well, what movie was it?
Right. See, so okay, I can say the movie because the guy he's a good dude. The movie was a movie called A Few Good Men. It had Tom Cruise,
Demi
Moore, Jack Nicholson, Kiefer Sutherland, Kevin Bacon. I mean, it was a huge movie. It was huge.
So wait, was it the black dude who was on trial with?
It's the black dude that was on trial. Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember his name, but yeah, I mean, I know it is. I know that movie.
Yeah, his name was right. His name was Wolfgang Bodison, who was he was on our production crew for Boys in the Hood. And he hadn't even acted at the time. And he's a cool dude, you know. Wolfgang, he was a real cool dude. And but I think, you know, the director just had a type, and we weren't it. And Wolfgang got the part, you know.
You could have been that asshole, Morris Chestnut. You could have been.
I could have been, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I could have been, you know. They ordered a code red. They ordered a code red.
You goddamn right I did. Yeah.
There you go. Look at you. Okay. Yeah. I see the chops right there. I see the chops.
See? Now, this is me auditioning for you.
You got it.